Good Monday morning. How is everybody doing today? Welcome to another Monday morning coffee. Sorry for the shaky camera. It's supposed to have image stabilization activated. Let's give that a try. I don't know. Sometimes things work, sometimes they don't. But we are here once again to drink some coffee, enjoy each other's company, and tie a few flies. What do you say? Today is 6/7/2021. June the 7th. How about that? We've made it. It was a rough weekend. It was super hot. My thermometer in the backyard picked up just a tick over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, which is quite hot for this time of year. It actually felt more like late July instead of the first week of June. But we got out in the kayak a couple of mornings. We've been able to land some fish. I tell you what, one species of fish that eludes me is the humble but mighty carp. I have yet to hook up on a carp on the fly. That's something that I definitely would like to try to do someday. Well, I try to do it every so often, but I can never catch them in the right mood. They're very temperamental, from what I understand. I've started binge watching some carp on the fly videos, and it's just a matter of luck, basically. And the right technique and luck both. Um, I came across some paddling on a small lake the other day, and they were just sunbathing. I see them, and then every so often they would splash the surface, taking a snack out or whatever it is. So I threw everything I could think of at them, a million different ways. I wasn't even spooking them off at first. Well, at first I spooked them off, but then I found another pod or whatever of them, school of them, and yeah, it was tough fishing for them. So then I boogied out of there, paddled out of there, and found myself a whole bunch of crappie. Man, it was a fun little hole. Some good coffee this morning. Cup number 3 for me, actually. What do I got here? Do I? Nope, those are wet and dry. I was trying to, this time of year, the fly boxes bounce back and forth in between the bench and the garage. Usually all winter we've got everything just sitting out right here. But yeah, how's everybody doing? Good morning, Dewey. Good morning, Steve. Well, good evening, Dewey. Because if I'm correct, you're in Wales, if I remember correct. So we're going to tie some flies. Let's go ahead and get to it. Like always, I have a somewhat of an idea in mind, but how it works out, we'll find out together. That's one thing that we can tell you for free. All right, let's go ahead and do the hokey pokey. Spin myself a boat. Let there be light. So, yeah, we'll just get right into it. My bench is just a hot mess after the last couple of flies. The thing is I walk away from the bench and then I don't get back to it for a few days, and then I realize I did not clean up after I last left, and I was spinning and trimming some deer hair. So, needless to say, we've got ourselves a little bit of a mess here to work our way through, but we'll get by. All right, so hook. What hook did I just put on there? What was that? That was a Fly Life R7 barbless nymph, size 14. We're down to our last little bits of some of our Fly Life R7 supply, and I really like these hooks. They're good quality hooks. Let's zoom in just a little bit. What do you think? That gets us a little bit closer. Trying to, there we go. Make sure I've got the right view turned on. All right, we'll start off with our thread, and I'm going to be using, at least to start, I'm going to start with this red thread. And it is a Danville's, what is that, 70 denier? 70 denier flat wax, equivalent to a 6/0. So we'll start up front. And I've actually misplaced my Dr. Slicks. Where did I put those? Well, they're all Dr. Slicks, but the razors. Oh, that just snapped. We have a major minor snafu here. A little bit too much tension on the old bobbin. I'm going to give it a quick adjustment. Here we go. Clear that off, and we'll start this again. We'll grab our threading tool. I'll tell you what, these little blue dental, you find them in the dental departments at your local place where you get your dental supplies, your toothbrushes and such, and it just works out perfectly to feed it through these bobbins. No inhaling needed. You always see those guys just sucking on it like it's a straw. Alright, let's try this again. From the top. In the beginning, there was a hook. And the hook was good. But then we decided to add a head with some thread. You thread-headed son of a what? I'm going for a little bit oversized here. Nice big head. We're going to use a, where'd our hackle go? I wanted to start off maybe with a black hen hackle. Absolutely. We could most definitely do a dry fly like that. There's one called the dancing caddis. If you look up a dancing caddis, actually, you know what? You want to talk about tying a dry fly. Here we go. We'll just pull this out real quick. I was actually just looking at this earlier. And I tied this to fish with the 10-car rod. So it's a fixed line, right? There we go. And I tied it on a jig hook, right? So I'm keeping constant, get this out of the way. I'm keeping constant tension on the line. So here's, how the hook kind of would be. So I'll throw a glob of floatant, get that into the hair, and let it, follow your floatant's recommendations. And this is actually, I've done pretty well on this. It floats really good. And if you keep a line on it, you're fishing it just like this. And pretty good, pretty good success with hookup rate. And I'll give you one guess where you hook a lot of the fish. Right on the upper lip, right on the top of the mouth. Because it's and I'm talking, you know, my experience with it is with panfish. So you get the panfish kind of swim up right underneath it. Sometimes they click at it. Sometimes they just sip at it. But let's take our black hen hackle. We're going to tie this in by the tip. Top side out, front side out. But yes, absolutely. The dancing caddis, or a skittering caddis. I'll have to look at my books here real quick here in a minute. Once we're done with this fly, we'll take a little pause, and I got a couple of books I can look for or dig through real quick. So my hope is with the black, we're kind of going for a kind of a spider feel, insectish, buggish. But wait till you see what I got cooked up in my brain for this one. Got a couple loose guys running around, but they'll be alright. I want to find my wire. We're going to go with gold. See, with the Kabari style, flies, it's a 360 degree. There is no top or bottom. I guess the top is the front of the fly, so it's a 360. There's no left or right or anything like that. Alright, we're going to go just a little bit more down into the bend. Alright, now I got something else I got cooked up. So, I was looking at this earlier and I was like, let's tie on a rubber leg, and we'll use that for our body, and we'll just stretch that around. So I'm going to tie this in and give it a little bit of a stretch. Down the body, right about there. We'll park our thread back up front. It's going to be interesting because it's a round rubber leg. Let's get that first one going. And then we're going to do counter wraps with the gold wire. And I gave it a little bit of a stretch as we're working our way forward. Not too much, but just a little bit of tension on the system. definitely give it a tug before we snip. I like that. Alright, let's fill that back end with this gold. We're going to do this as counter wraps. Oh, need to back that up. I want these to be touching wraps, not evenly spaced. Nice and close up the back. Give us a nice little golden rear. And then we'll do a evenly spaced. And this I gotta kind of balance the tension on. I don't want to pull too tight. And this is a fine gold wire. Fine, fine, fine. 13/100ths. Alright, let's add a little dubbing for a collar. What do you think? I think we'll just go with the black, maybe. Black tunic. Maybe try this cloud. So this is the llama, or not llama, alpaca. We'll just get a little touch of dub, a little bit of the white cloud. A little dabble W. Do a touch more, and then we're gonna end it. With a whip finish. Excellent. All right. Let's take a closer look at this little guy. I like this one. Gotta have a little cork somewhere. Here we are. Kind of like that little pudgy body. You know what? I'm going to do a whole body with that. It'll almost be like a little San Juan or Squirmy Wormy. But I like that. Let's try another one. We'll set this one off to the side for meow. Take a sip of coffee. Oh wait, we wanted to look up that dancing caddis. go ahead and move our camera back to here. All right. A, B, C, D, E. Diving caddis, delta wing. We need to go to D, A, dancing. There we go. Yes, the dancing caddis. It's a La Fontaine pattern, 1981. Actually, I'll switch my camera back over so we can show you in the book. So that's the dancing caddis. So it looks like it's a little bit of squirrel hair. The book is all written in Norwegian. So there's all the materials. Let's try something. Let's try one real quick. We can peel off from this real quick to tie a little dancing caddis. Why not? You want a dancing caddis? We'll tie you a dancing caddis. Alright, so we'll do this on a size 12 dry fly hook. And let's go, we're going to go with this Vivus white 10-aught. I need to pull that recipe back out. Even though I can't. Okay, so we'll just do a little bit of dubbing for the body. Let's go with this alpaca. Why not? We'll use the hare's ear sub. And we'll do that for a body. Which one was that? That was that one. Let's do a little touch of wax. And we're going to do a tiny little thin little dubbing noodle. Pinch it until we get a nice tight noodle. And we're just going to do a thin little body here. And we'll take it right up to that, almost that 1/3, 2/3 point. Maybe just a little bit more further forward, because remember we're going to put the hair on, the squirrel tail on underneath. That looks good. Alright, let's find some hair we could use, whether it's squirrel tail or not. I want to do squirrel. Alright, I'm going to go with this darker squirrel, kind of a red fox. I think it's a red squirrel. Alright. What do we know about hair? We got to clean it. really got to clean it good. Squirrel hair is known for being a slippery little guy. So I'll give it a little pinch and a little twist. Roll it in your fingertips as you clean it. That'll help untangle. All right, we want to stack this. Let's find a small hair stacker. This looks small enough. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to blow into the mic. I just got some extra junk in the bottom. All right, we'll go tips down. I suppose you could try to flip the hook upside down as you tie this, but I would say we're going to hold it right underneath anyways. So take a couple of wraps and make sure you got it positioned. I need to go a little bit further forward. There we go. So hold your thread up out of the way so you don't trim that off. And I'm going to pull the hair out and see if I can't get a wrap or two. Kind of help lift that up. Get it right up tight in there. Well, we definitely got some stuff around the eye, but we'll deal with that. All right, let's grab a dry fly hackle. And I'm going to go with this dark brown. Yep. Just wanted to kind of do a quick confirmation on the size. I'm going to tie this in right about there. All right, let's tie in our hackle. You know what time it is. All right. We'll do our little dry fly hackle up front. Definitely crowded the eye on this one, but that's okay. We're just illustrating the point. All right. And then to finish this off, here we go. Get right up there and trim that hackle right off the top. So that's going to now be the bottom. So then, as it wants to sit, we are looking. Let's see if we can't set that. Actually, you know what we could use? Is my bass. There you go. So that's just kind of a little quick and dirty. And I've actually had some fairly good success with the dancing caddis. I throw that out in Montana from time to time. But this is the one I tied on the jig hook with just deer hair. It's kind of a little bit more basic. But with it being on the jig hook, I also have constant tension on the system. So there you have that. The dancing caddis. And now I can't find that first fly that we tied. There it is. Questions, comments? Hope that answered your question. What is the original dubbing for the dancing caddis? Oh, I don't know. It's in Norwegian. I don't know. Something tight. All right. I want to do another one of the Kabari. All right. Let's go back to. Oh, let's do a size. Got these jig hooks sitting right here. I like the 14 nymph. All right. All right, instead of a red rubber leg, I'm going to use, this time I'm going to use an olive. It's got some really good color to it. So we'll give that a try. Oh, let's go back to our red thread. I like having that red head. And then maybe instead of wire, we're going to use some tinsel, some French French tinsel. All right. Hackle, hackle, hackle. Maybe not black. We'll go with this brown. This has got some color and some texture to it. Some iridescence. That's just a hen hackle. Nothing extraordinary. I tell you what, if you ever see the whiting hen hackle sample pack, pick it up. You will be glad you did. So much stuff in there. I might have got two. I'm not 100% certain, but it was a big giant. Felt like a pillow. Big bag's worth. We'll tie in our hackle right about there. Maybe another turn or two. All right, let's tie in this. I think we want to go medium. Let's try medium. This medium French tinsel. Work that to the rear. Oh, we nicked the tip of the hook. I felt that. Did you see that? It was almost like in slow motion for me. No. We're live streaming, so edit free live streams. This is what really happens on a Fly Tyers bench. No take two. Well, there's plenty of take twos, but the camera keeps going. We'll recapture. I usually like to try to meet up with the other thread. Trim both off at the same time. Just tick down into that bend. Alright, where'd that green... This is a, what do they call this? Damsel olive. Some bug legs. But we're not going to use it as a leg, we're going to use it as a body. Can you do that? Sure, why not? Give it a nice stretch. That way the body stays a nice slim profile. Right about there, we'll take maybe a turn or two with the tinsel before we get to the leg. I'm actually not stretching this out too much because I want it to have the ability to kind of squish and compress. Boy, that's a beautiful body just as itself. Maybe just a little dab of UV on top of that. I don't want to crowd that up too much because we're going to throw a little bit of dub up there. But we'll lock that off. Very nice. Alright, let's do maybe 1, 2. I'm getting a good amount of tension on there, I think. I'm trying to squish that kind of into the rubber. Alright, I'm just going to trim this with my scissors. Not my good ones, though. Alright, let's add a little dab of dub. And this, let's go with the scarlet. Just a little dab of that. Bright red scarlet. This is that alpaca. A little dab of W. I'm finding that you don't necessarily need too much wax. Alright, let's throw a whip finish. Alright. Daddy likey this one. I think this one is just fantastic looking. I love that body. That French tinsel over the rubber leg. That looks fishy. I love this alpaca. I'm liking this alpaca, and I'm liking all sorts of things. How are we doing on time? We're doing all right for time. Let's go back. We'll check out. All right. Checking up on the chat. Makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah. Mayflies upside down. So the question, where are you from? What flies do you fish? Yeah, we got a couple of us in the chat. I represent central Minnesota, United States of America. I mainly fish for bass. Well, at least I like to fish for bass. So I'm usually throwing larger hoppers, poppers, clousers, woolly buggers. And if I'm not fishing for bass, I'm going for panfish, which are sunny bluegill, crappie, And for that, I usually throw trout flies. But I also have a full array of panfish flies. Um, I'm a little bit all over the gambit. I like to uh, share what I'm learning and teach as I go. Um, but yeah, let us know in the comments or in the chat. Where are you from and what flies do you fish? It would be too hard for me to just list what I do fish. It's what I don't fish. um, but I tie for everything. I've got a fly for almost every occasion. We've got just random bits of. And this one's just hanging on. What are you hanging on by? Just a piece of rubber. Then like in the middle of that we got this. Size 12 to 16. When I'm fishing for panfish, I don't know. I'm kind of compared to a lot of other people. I would say in general, my bass flies, I'm in the 2, 4, maybe 6. But then I get in the 1/0, 2/0, 3/0, 4/0. I like going for the pike. I tie flies for muskie, which I don't catch muskie. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of a little bit of everything, I'll say, is where I'm at in a general sense. Um, but when I'm fishing with my tenkara setup, yeah, it's usually smaller flies. When I say smaller, in that 12 to 16 range. I don't really go into the 18, 20, 22. Um, it's I mean, if that's the only thing that they're gonna bite, maybe it would be worth stopping by a local fly shop and stocking up on a few of those micro flies. But with those micro flies, you need micro tippet and you need the right setup. We're casting, well, Western fly fishing. You're casting the line, not the fly. But you want to size your rod, reel, line setup uh, proportionate to the flies that you're going to be throwing. So, um, I'm not going to throw a size 16 dry fly on my 8 weight. I can do that with any of my tenkara setups, really. Um, but I'm not going to take a 2/0 popper. I'm not going to take something like this necessarily and just start chucking it with any of my tenkara rods. I do have the Hellbender, which is a little bit stiffer, a little bit stouter, um, nice length, but it's, I don't know. I'm just going to jibber jabber for a few more minutes. I think we're going to end on a good note with that last fly. I'm going to probably tie a few more. Um, well, I don't know. Let's tie one more, just like that last one. That way we got two tied up at the same time. That way they're almost twins. Yeah, we'll do one more. We'll do one more real quick. We got about 10, 15 minutes. But yeah, I really like that last one. That one turned out fantastic. So yeah, right in the middle, 14. All right, let's get our thread head going. I want a good size head up front. Gonna push it back a little bit. Right about there. That's a good size, really good size head. It's definitely bigger than smaller. This one we went with that brown with a little bit of iridescent into it. I like that. So I know a lot of the, like in Japan, they're not tying with, this cheapo hen hackle. They're tying with other cheapo hackles, other bargain, because it's not about, at least in this circle, my circle, it's not about how rare or expensive. It's like the book, The Feather Thief, right? Have you guys read the book or know the story of the Feather Thief? It's quite the story. I believe it was a flute player, fly tyer, tying those classic European salmon flies. Broke into a museum and stole a priceless amount of fly or feathers, one of a kind, extinct species kind of stuff. Quite the story. I actually first listened to it about the feather thief on the radio. It was the author was telling the story about how he, first heard about it. Um, and yeah, I can confirm, talking to some other people that yeah, it's more than just fiction, as the story goes. And it's the mentality. It's the I need to have that in order to make this. And if you're not going to do it right, then don't do it at all. Because you're looking at, some classic pattern that's got ancient plumage. Well, there's only one place to get it, and that's at the museum. Tying flies that, yeah, the feather thief. Hey, we got Smart Mouth in the house. Last but not least, hey, I'm glad I stuck around for one last one. Well, as far as I need to spin my thread a little. As far as trout patterns that I fish, Stand by, I'll give you a good comprehensive list. Because I can just read off some of the flies out of the books that I got. Yeah, I didn't want to stretch that out too far. Here we go. I mean, the last batch of trout that I fished was on my trip down to Iowa, and this is what I was fishing with all sorts of different uh, different types of kabari style. All right, let's wrap this forward. We'll do a couple of wraps in the back and work our way up. Looks like we're gonna get two. The butcher. I know the butcher. I got a picture of the butcher right in front of me. Let's do that scarlet again. Just a little dab will do us for our dubbing. I like that. Just the right amount. Finish with a whip finish. All right. There we go. There's another one. But so let's get this unplugged. So there's the butcher and the bloody butcher. Can you spot the difference? These are all presumably from a book. Um, but as far as trout flies, one of my kind of starting points for me and my trout fly journey come a lot from this book. Fly Patterns of West Yellowstone. Sparkle Dun, Improved Sparkle Dun, the Knockdown Dun, Pale Morning Dun Nymph, Pale Morning Dun Emerger, Cripple Mayfly, Betas, some green drakes, Epioris spinners, I really like those. Some Calabatus nymph, those are all in the mayflies. Caddis, oh, I really like the X Caddis, Improved X Caddis, Iris Caddis, You can't go wrong with some good nymphs. The Serendipity, the Shop Vac, Slough Creek, Zelon Midge, the good old zebra nymph. So, yeah. Well, we're going to leave it at that. We got a full day ahead of us. I've got to make some phone calls right away and try to stay cool. I don't know what the weather's going to peak out at today, but I'm chasing the sprinklers around. So, spider pattern. Spider, spider on the wall. Ain't you got no brains at all? Can't you see the wall's been plastered, you silly spider? So, anywho, different strokes for different folks. We all tie for the same reason, no matter what exactly we tie may be different, but may we all draw inspiration from each other uh, and tie great things. Don't criticize, accessorize. Less is more or less. It's hackle time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for tuning in. Really appreciate y'all joining me each and every Monday morning, unless we're having difficulties or something pops up. There's never a 100% guarantee, but we try to do this as best as we can for about an hour, starting at 9 o'clock. And at least for now, we're doing a Wednesday night live stream from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Be sure to join me for my Project Healing Water special, where we tie flies for veterans, teaching them how to tie flies. That's the general idea. All right, everybody. Thank you all for watching. Please stay healthy out there. Please stay safe. Happy tying. Yeah, sure, you betcha. Tight lines. Peace.